Hello everyone. I didn't think I'll get to do this so soon, but it's time for me to explain my Patreon setup. Because consistency is my middle name apparently. Maybe this video isn't all that necessary, but I want to put all the cards on the table straight away. The setup itself is simple. There are 3 tiers, $1, $2 and $3 respectively. Where it gets tricky is benefits that these tiers provide, or lack thereof. There's no difference between the Patreon tiers, other than the size of the pledge, and there are no goodies for pledging either. No early access, no exclusive content, no Discord roles. On the flip side, no FOMO either. This very channel is made of stuff someone would normally put on their Patreon, but I wasn't going to do that.
Oh, what a hero!
My updates exist to provide information and gather feedback, and it would be dumb and counterproductive if I were to paywall them. On top of that is the material I work with. Gaming and mental health is a weird mix, and I don't expect a lot of people to find it their zone. So I can't in good conscience try and incentivize someone to invest into something they're likely to only half appreciate. Therefore, it's strictly up to personal choice. You're not missing out on anything. The only Patreon goal I currently have is reaching living wage for my region, so captioning would start paying for itself without me having to strike deals with creators. That would open up more opportunities for me to work with smaller creators without charging them, like it was with Solmatul for example. Not to mention my other volunteering exploits. I don't want to count chicks before they hatched, so I have no further ambitions as of right now. But gosh knows I have things to invest in. Now, I realize that I'm an elite sniper when it comes to shooting myself in the foot, but I'll say it anyway. If you're considering lending me financial support, think carefully and don't overinvest. Ideally, think of it as a way to support independent YouTube captioning as a thing, or showing appreciation for what you've already gotten out of my work. Not an investment into getting more of the same. And I'm not implying, of course, that I'm going to switch course now that I've caught up with Mandalore's output, or that I'll ditch mental health if it proves to be an unpopular topic. I'm just saying that I have less control over subjects of my uploads than someone who produces original content. Currently, I'm exploring sources of mental health education material, but I'll stick by Mendy for as long as he needs me. And I'm aiming to spotlight some other gaming channels as well, when I have an opportunity. There will be something for at least 2 kinds of people, I guess. To summarize, my Patreon is going to be largely, if not completely, inactive, and you're not missing out on anything if you haven't pledged. On the other hand, it's nothing exorbitant, and it's for a good cause if I do say so myself. I can't think of a way YouTube could open caption writing for monetization, without incentivizing low-effort hack work. So, the way I see it, independent setups such as this, where quality and consistency of submissions decide the willingness to support the work, are currently the optimal way. If you agree, but you're not the joining type, I also have a PayPal page where you can leave a tip if you feel so inclined. I don't have a business link, but you can use my mail address to make a transfer of your choosing. Lastly, you can support me by spreading the word around. I doubt the algorithm cares for my update shenanigans. I don't even put tags on my videos. Plus, what could I put there really? Names of featured channels? That kinda smells of exploitation. Also, even though captions are technically a form of YouTube content, it primarily helps other channels to gain exposure, while the writer remains in obscurity. I mean, I'm at it for over 2 years now, but how many people knew of my existence before Mandalore directly mentioned me? So, if you think you know someone who could appreciate what I'm doing enough to want to support it, don't hesitate to point them this way. One more thing I want to touch on is community engagement. I've already mentioned once that I'm the antisocial type, and I wanted to make it clear that it doesn't mean I don't appreciate your engagement. I may not respond a lot, but I do care. I just have very limited resources when it comes to social interactions, and a portion of it is spent on reaching out to content creators. I'll do my best to reciprocate in the update videos, but comments are going to remain hit and miss, I'm afraid. Also, I'm glad you're cool with the production quality of these videos. It's actually such a hacked together last minute side product, you have no idea. And that brings us to the last point, timing of uploads. As some of you may already know, submitted caption tracks don't go onto the video immediately. The channel owner has to review and approve them first. And that creates this weird dead zone when my work is done, but I can't brag to you about it just yet. It may be only a few hours with someone who is more actively engaged with their channel, but it may take weeks with others if YouTube is not their primary activity. And it's especially true in our current situation when everyone has a lot of stuff to turn their attention to. Thankfully, there is a fairly new feature in the Creator Studio that, with enough goodwill generated, has the potential for granting more autonomy to well-meaning, hard-working, God-fearing third burglars such as myself. Wait, what was that last? Alright, I think that covers everything. See you next time. Bye.